Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here. Today is April 26th, and this is your aftermarket update. All right, so we had an amazing $5,000 CL trade here today. If you look at the price ladder up here, you can see 47.90. I was down a couple of ticks leading into this massive trade. In fact, the trade that we ultimately got into, we started with 3 lots. We ended up trading at 5 lots. And we had a initial stop of $300. So you had a $5,000 trade, and a $300 stop ends up being like 17-to-1 reward to risk. It was a fantastic trade. We're going to talk about how it is that we got into it today. I was talking to a prospective room member on the phone here today, and one of the questions he asked was, I know you trade off the 5-minute chart, but do you ever look at any higher time frames? And the answer is yes, we like the 30-minute chart. And so I thought it would be good if I showed you exactly how that 30-minute chart looked here today. And so as the market, this was coming into prior trading session, it was really pretty clean chart. You had, over the course of the last 3 days, this was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, you had made this new high, you'd made a lower high and a lower high. So you had really 3 clean lower highs, and you had this breakout from this low. In fact, you could have brought that down to here. Either way, you had a breakout from this low range on a pretty aggressive move. So looking at your 30-minute chart over the course of the last 3 days, the market was short, right? There was a bias to the market, at least in the near term, short, right? So you had this big run up, and there was this initial on Monday, and you had some corrective action here coming into Friday's trading session. So with that being said, and with that idea in mind, the higher time frame was looking short. So on this smaller time frame, which we trade, this 5-minute chart, there was some logic to us looking to try and get short. So we have what we call our market maker levels, and these levels provide you with support and resistance and context and structure in the different trading sessions that we're in. So again, higher time frame had us looking short, smaller time frame looking a little bit bullish going into the open. We have the volume weighted average price, and we have this 10-tick box around our resistance level. And so what we like to do is we do like to take a trade off of the DS mid, which is your RTH session support resistance areas, off of the VWAP. And again, as you were looking up, as the market was rallying up today, you were keeping in mind that the overall session over the last 3 days had been making lower highs. So we had that big breakout. So again, looking for shorts to kind of get in sync with that higher time frame move. Volume weighted average price, market rallies up into that area, and we look to get short here at this 31. Now, market comes down. I'm going to turn off the RTH levels and turn on the ETH levels for a minute, and you'll notice that there's a level down here around 15. So as the market begins to kind of sell off down here, we had a pretty good move down, and then we got a pull back up into this area. Okay, and so I ended up taking a trade in this area that ends up stopping me out. I think it stopped me out for like 7 ticks times 3 lots. So when you see the video trade of the day here in just a minute, you're going to notice that I'm down ticks. If you look at the price ladder here, I told you we had a $5,000 trade, but that's not a $5,000 realized P&L. It's because I had a small losing trade in this zone on the pullback. Okay, so that's why that occurred. So ended up having a decent little run here, but I got pulled back up, and anyway, I ended up being down heading into this really nice trade. So if you turn on the daily structure signals, and market kind of rotates around a little bit, and you're going to see us pull down into this structure signal. It was at this point that the market began this kind of process of rotating back up, and I still liked the idea of us being short in this area. So again, below VWAP, below the structure mid, you had that 30-minute chart that was giving you lower highs, and we had the breakout of that symmetrical triangle. And so we took the opportunity to get short right here at this structure signal. So where we're going to pick up the video trade of the day, as I'm going to be 3 lots, you're going to hear me say hit but no fill, hit but no fill, hit but no fill. Eventually, I get filled. And now, what we began the process, which was really cool, we began the process of looking to try and hang on from this 77, 76 area all the way down to this daily structure extension 1. And that's precisely what we did. We started with 3 lots. We had a couple of places on our chart where we ended up adding to the position, and I'll show you that here as we begin to go through. But as you can see here, the market just continues to sell off, and it comes all the way down into your daily structure extension 1. So we ended up with what ends up being an average in price of 40 at up here at 63.40, and we carried it all the way down for 100 ticks, all the way down just below the extension 1, all the way down to 62.40. So there is 132 ticks here, but remember I started with 3 lots, so we ended up at 5 lots, and so that is how we ended up with a 100 tick CL trade times 5 lots. That doesn't happen every day, but if you know how to use the levels and you're trying to minimize the risk and maximize the reward, you give yourself an opportunity to be able to take that kind of opportunity off the table. So again, a $5,000 CL trade. I'm gonna let you watch it here. The trade itself lasted about an hour, I think. So right here around 9:05 my time, 9 o'clock my time, yeah. And it finally hits that target down there around 10:05. So this was about an hour-long trade. I'm going to cut it up into pieces and do all that stuff that I normally do with it. But what I want you to pay attention to is where we get into the trade, what it is that we decide, where it is that we decide to add to these positions, and then watch us manage that trade as it comes all the way down for 100 ticks times 5 lots today. And that is your trade of the day. So with all that being said, I'm going to let you watch here this OTG $5,000 CL trade of the day. Short on the CL 76. There's hit but no fill. 76, hit but no fill. 76, hit but no fill. 76, hit but no fill. In 76. Stop is 86. Target is 30.